Hello all, in this video, we will be learning how to use Janus Graph with HBase as a storage backend. Let's move ahead and learn the same. So in this video, we will be learning how to create and understand about the graph property file and the properties required to use HBase as a backend. After seeing the property, we'll create a graph, that is, we'll be creating a HBase table using Gremlin console. In the third step, we'll put some data into the graph, and in the fourth step, we'll query the graph. Let's move ahead and see the prerequisites for this session. So for this session, you should have a running HBase on your system. Secondly, you should have Janus Graph installed on your system. For both of these, we have already created sessions. You can refer those. I'll put the link in the description. Now let's move ahead and see the properties. So we'll be using janusgraph-hbase.properties to configure HBase as a storage backend in Janus Graph. A sample property file is already available in the Janus Graph distribution that we have in the conf folder. Anyway, I'll be providing all this information in the description box. So the first property is Gremlin Graph. This property tells Janus Graph that what kind of graph we are required to use. Here, we want to use Janus Graph Factory. The second property is storage backend. In this, we provide there what kind of backend we need to use, or more specifically, what kind of storage backend we require to use. If you want to use HBase, we'll provide HBase here. We can provide many storage backends in this property which are supported by Janus Graph. That is, we can also provide Cassandra here. We can also provide in-memory here for in-memory graphs, but at a time we can provide only one. So as of now, I have provided HBase. Thirdly, we need to provide storage.hostname property. Here we need to provide the hostname. In case of HBase, this hostname is of Zookeeper. That is, this HBase-docker is the Zookeeper IP alias. In the fourth property, we are providing storage.port. Here we are providing 2181. This is the Zookeeper port. In the fifth property, we are providing znode parent, that is -HBase. In the last property, we are providing storage.hbase.table. That is, here we are providing the name of the HBase table which will get created, and in this table, all the data of the graph will get stored. Here the name of the table that I have provided is techframer. Now let's move ahead and see how to create the graph using all these properties. Let's open the terminal for that using Ctrl-Alt-T. Let me zoom in a bit. Let's go to the Janus Graph distribution that we have using cd softbase Janus Graph full 0.5.3. You all should go to the path where you have installed this Janus Graph. Now let's open Gremlin console using bin gremlin.sh. Now let's go back to the slides and understand the command that we'll be using to create or connect to graph. In this command, we are creating a variable named graph, and using Janus Graph Factory, we are opening a graph and providing the path of property file to it. And in this property file, we have provided all the properties that we saw in the last slide. Just note one thing here. This same command is used to create graph also and to connect to the graph also. That is, Janus Graph will check internally that if the table, or more specifically, if the HBase table that is provided in this property file is already created, then it will not create that table. But if that table is not present, then it will create the table. Connect to the graph, construct the graph object, and provide that into this variable. Now let's go back to the terminal and fire the same. Graph equals to Janus Graph Factory dot open, and here we need to provide the path of the file. I have created a sample file on my local system, and I'll just provide the path of this particular file in that command. Let's go back to the terminal and do the same. Let's provide the path here and hit enter. Now we can see that graph object is successfully created. Now let's go back to the slides and see the next step. The next step is to put some data into the graph. And to do so, we'll be using the following command. If you want to understand this command in detail, we also created a session for it. We'll provide the link in the description. Now let's move ahead and ingest the data. Let's paste the command here and hit enter. We can see that data is imported successfully. Now let's query the graph. To query the graph, we would require a traversal object. And to create that, we will use the following command. That is g equals to graph.traversal. We have created a graph traversal object. By using this object, we can query the graph. Let's get all the vertices of the graph using g.v. We can see that there are 6 vertices available in this graph. All this data is stored into a table in HBase, and the name of the table is the same as we provided in the property file. Let's open HBase shell and check the same. Let's open a fresh terminal for that. Use Ctrl-Shift-T. Let me zoom in a bit. Let's go to the root user as I want to fire Docker commands, as I have set up HBase using Docker. Let me open HBase shell. Let's paste the command here and hit enter. If you want to understand this command in more detail, we have created a video for this. Link is given in the description. Now let's use list command to see all the tables that are available in HBase. We can see that there are 3 tables available. First is janusgraph, second is sample table, and third is the techframer. In this table, all our data is available. Now you can create as many property files you need and as many graph tables you want. I hope now you are clear with how to use HBase as a storage backend with janusgraph. If you have any concerns or issues, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching the video.